All right, now it's time to actually do some factoring of algebraic expressions using the greatest common factor. So we're going to look at the algebraic expressions that we looked at in the previous section, and we already have all those greatest common factors, so we don't have to go through those steps or that process again. So the first example we're going to look at is 6x cubed plus 18x squared. And remember, the greatest common factor that we found was 6x squared. Okay, now we're going to use this greatest common factor of 6x squared to factor this algebraic expression. Now, if we keep in mind what we talked about in the previous video, factoring is just dividing. Okay, remember, factoring is just the same thing as dividing. Then what we just do is take this algebraic expression and divide it by our greatest common factor. So 6x cubed plus 18x squared. If we want to use the greatest common factor to actually factor this algebraic expression, we're just going to divide. Okay? So 6x cubed plus 18x squared, if we divide everything by 6x squared, then what do we get? Well, when we divide like this, remember, we want to split it up into two separate fractions, so be very careful about that. So before we do anything, we want to split that up into 6x cubed over 6x squared plus 18x squared over 6x squared equals what? Now look at these one term at a time. So 6x cubed over 6x squared, what happens? Well, the 6's cancel, and we're just left with the factor of 1, really. X cubed and x squared. The x squared goes into the x cubed with just a factor of x left over, so that leaves us with an x. And what about over here? Well, 6 goes into 18 3 times, and then x squared cancels perfectly with x squared, so all we have left is plus sign from here, and then plus 3. So x plus 3 is what's left over. So the way we write that, finally, is 6x cubed plus 18x squared equals 6x squared times the quantity x plus 3. Okay? Because 6x cubed plus 18x squared divided by 6x squared gives us x plus 3. Just like 20 divided by 4 gives us 5, right? So here we have this guy divided by this guy gives us this guy. So we write the first one, 6x cubed plus 18x squared equals 6x squared times the quantity x plus 3. Likewise, 20 divided by 4 gives us 5. So 20 equals 4 times 5. Okay? So that's how we use the greatest common factor to factor an algebraic expression.